Greetings, my friends. I want to thank you all for subscribing. I want to thank all of my channel members for supporting me in this endeavor to save pop culture. And if you are not subscribed, please consider supporting this channel. We need you. Thank you. Greetings, my friends. I am Dictor Van Doomcock, the future ruler of Earth, broadcasting from my hidden base at the center of the Earth, and I stand before you today with a very persistent rumor coming from my Hollywood spies that a secret plan to fix the MCU exists inside of Marvel Studios. Now, some of you are probably asking, well, what do you mean, fix the MCU? In what way does it need to be fixed, and what does that entail? Well, my friends, apparently inside Disney, they are well aware that since Avengers Endgame, Kevin Feige has failed repeatedly with the MCU. To say that Phase 4 and Phase 5 have been disappointments is like saying that Dresden was a fireworks show. By virtually any metric, Phase 4 of the MCU has been garbage, a dumpster fire of combustible suck fueled by bad scripts, second-tier characters, and woke BS. Views are down, revenue is down, merchandising is down. Let's face it, Avengers Endgame really was the end of the MCU. All the most popular characters died or retired. Captain Marvel and a team of forgettable second-rate female characters were set up to become the new Avengers. They tossed the Falcon Captain America's shield and said, "Here, now you're Captain Flying America, have fun." Wanda trapped and tortured a whole town of innocent people to work out her personal issues regarding her marriage. She-Hulk was twerking on an insultingly bad Disney Plus series. On and on and on. I don't think it's controversial to say that Feige dropped the ball big time when it came to the MCU post-Endgame, and fan enthusiasm for Marvel has plummeted. In light of that, and in light of Disney's terrible economic woes lately, my Hollywood spies tell me that there's a plan ready inside Marvel to fix everything.
So what's the fix? Firing Feige? Buying him a special lobotomy weekend at a Beverly Hills spa so he can unwind? Replacing Feige with Jon Favreau, who was one of the original architects of the MCU at the start of the franchise? You know, back when it didn't suck harder than a hooker at a Dust Devil convention in the Linda Lovelace Auditorium in Sucktown, Utah? It seems clear to me that ESG is the problem here. As Doomcock accurately forecast a few years ago, the MCU has been transformed into the MCU, and nobody wants to see that. Outside of a few SJWs tweeting in their rainbow foot jammies while listening to bootleg recordings from Lilith Fair of Lizzo singing "I'm a Not-So-Little Teapot" on a ukulele with auto-tune. A very select audience indeed.
Look, folks, ESG is a disease that infects corporations. The symptoms of ESG are loss of profits, loss of fans, platforms instead of narratives, bad scripts, virtue signaling, and explosive diarrhea. Okay, that last symptom is wishful thinking on my part, but still, one can hope, right? The most striking symptom of ESG is the afflicted company bleeds money uncontrollably. It's like Ebola for corporations, and for some bizarre reason, companies these days are all too willing to be infected with this terrible affliction. So what exactly is this rumor about? What is Marvel presenting as a contingency plan to save the MCU? Well, my friends, this is a persistent rumor that my Hollywood spies have continually brought to my attention. I first heard of this back in August of 2022, when my Hollywood spies sent me the following message. So, okay, what our source is telling us is just too fucking good, too fucking awesome. There's no way in hell this is possibly real. That being said, it does line up with some of the stuff we have been told by a few walk-ins. This is unverified. Phase 4 is a bust. We know this. Phase 5 doesn't seem much better, so how could Disney fix this without redoing or rebooting the MCU? Oh, there's a way. And it's built in to Avengers Endgame, and no one has picked up on it. Fact. In Endgame, there are 2 snaps. Hulk, then Iron Man. Phase 4 and Phase 5 is the Hulk snap, but all of it could get put back with the second snap of Iron Man. At this point, I'm going to have to ask you to put on a tinfoil hat and buckle up because it gets crazy. Everything will be reset to before WandaVision. So the big question is who, if anyone, will be returning? Our source claims they want everyone to come back for at least a 4 main movie run. They want to shoot it all at the same time and release it over 4 to 6 years with shows and movies in between. Unquote.
Dude, that's crazy.
I agree, Harvey. I got that message on August 24th, 2022, and I just sat on it all this time because I just couldn't wrap my head around it. Yes, there's little doubt that Phase 4 and Phase 5 of the MCU have sucked. The only good thing was Spider-Man No Way Home, and that came from Sony, a one-off disconnected from the larger MCU that had an actual story to tell, not just a bunch of ESG woke bullshit, so of course it was a success. But the rest of Feige's crap, not so much. Eternals will eternally be remembered for sucking. Black Widow is forgettable, and since it was about a dead woman, nobody cared. Shang-Chi, Black Panther 2, She-Hulk, Hawkeye, Loki, WandaVision, Thor, Love and Blunder. I'm sure I'm forgetting a bunch of things, largely because they're so forgettable, but you get the point. You can't substitute Riri Williams for Tony Stark. You can't substitute the Falcon for Chris Evans' Captain America. You can substitute Brie Larson for a brick or possibly a wooden chair set off in the corner, but what's the point of that? No one is interested in the second string substitutes from the bench. The movies are tanking, Disney Plus is tanking, and unless something radical is done, the MCU is going to end not with a bang but a whimper, and Disney just can't afford any more whimpering. Still, I was reluctant initially to broadcast this rumor, and yet it has persisted all this time. My spies have been talking about this rumor since that first post in August of 2022, and just a few days ago on June 1st, I got this update from them. Quote, "The news is flooding in. The latest round of rumors is the possibility that the writer's strike may give Disney the opportunity to reboot the MCU before it's beyond repair. We are being told the multiverse story could live or die with the Marvels. The fact is, the 2 snaps in Avengers Endgame is still on the table. If you recall, there's 2 snaps in Endgame, the Hulk snap, and the alleged result is more women in the MCU because of how hard he tries to bring back Black Widow. Snap 2 being Iron Man's, which is their replacement and will take over." Unquote.
So what the hell is this about the 2 snaps in Endgame? I don't get it. The Hulk snap brought everybody back that Thanos had erased, and then Tony Stark's snap killed Thanos and all of his troops. We understand all of that already, dude.
And yet, Harvey, desperation is a marvelous thing, as desperation can bring about big changes, and this would be one of the biggest changes of all. It's hard for me to wrap my head around this, hence my skepticism, but my spies have been persistent with this rumor for almost a year, and when that happens, generally there's something to it. Now, I've asked them to explain it. They don't know all the details, and it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to any of us, frankly, but remember, this is not a well-planned plot. This is a desperation move, a retcon, that could give Marvel some justification for a complete reset from the end of Endgame, so it may have holes in it, but a lot of Marvel movies do, so it's not all that unusual. As for it making total sense, they really don't care. All they want to do is go back to making profits from the MCU, and allegedly, according to this rumor, they're willing to take any excuse to make that happen. So, that said, this is what I hear they're planning as a kind of desperate play to do a Bobby Ewing coming out of the shower, total resetting Dallas kind of moment. The Hulk snap in Endgame brought back everyone that had been erased by Thanos' snap. And everything we've been seeing in the MCU since Hulk's snap has been in the Hulk's snap timeline. In other words, All the horrible shows featuring stunning, brave women in theaters and on Disney Plus, these are all glimpses into a timeline created by the Hulk's snap. Now, the reason why women have been so emphasized in the MCU phases 4 and 5 is because Hulk was so focused on trying to bring back Black Widow, he subconsciously skewed the timeline he created to be gynocentric, meaning women are the bestest ever. But now, we come to Tony Stark's snap. Tony Stark's snap, in this scenario, didn't just eradicate Thanos and his armies. It also reset everything the way it was before in a separate timeline. In other words, there's a whole other timeline where Thanos is defeated, Iron Man and Captain America are alive and well, probably Black Widow as well, and Thanos never even happened.
But we see Iron Man die after his snap. So how can he be alive and well,
We see him die in the Hulk's timeline, created by the Hulk snap. That's where we've been ever since, folks. In this scenario, everything we've seen has been in the Hulk's timeline, created from his desperation and despair. Tony Stark snapped in the Hulk's timeline, killed Thanos' forces, and created a separate timeline where none of this shit happened at all, and they can move forward with the ultimate reset in Tony Stark's universe.
That's a fucking great idea, dude. That could fix everything. But only if Disney ever gets free of the ESG woke bullshit.
Well, that's the key, Harvey. Now, to be clear, Disney has not committed to this plan, and it is not currently in production. But it remains internally, a kind of in case of emergency break glass kind of thing, where if things get bad enough, this is how they plan to fix it. Now that the Writers Guild strike has stopped development in its tracks, I'm told they may use this delay to implement this or begin to transition to this implementation, and some recent news lends a bit of support for this. IGN just published an article entitled Star Wars, Marvel, and Avatar films delayed in massive Disney reshuffle, and this article backs up what my Hollywood spies told me. The article states, quote, Disney has reshuffled its entire film schedule and delayed upcoming Star Wars, Marvel, and Avatar films in the process. Marvel was another victim of the shakeup, with the recently renamed Captain America Brave New World the first to face a delay. From May 3rd to August 2024 next year, Thunderbolts may move to December 20th, 2024, Blade to February 14th, 2025, and Fantastic Four to May 2nd, 2025. Finally, both Avengers films are also delayed. Kang Dynasty is moving back a year from May 2nd, 2025 to May 1st, 2026. Secret Wars is following suit, moving from May 1st, 2026 to May 7th, 2027, unquote. So there you have it, my friends. These are desperate days at Disney, and the saner elements inside the company are already planning their exit strategy for the MCU Phase 4 and 5. Indeed, I'm told that if they decide to implement this snap revision, it will be announced in a post-credits scene to an upcoming Marvel project, where at the end of it, it will show Tony Stark saying, "I am Iron Man," and snapping his fingers with some kind of subtitle like, "To be continued." Will this happen? Only time will tell. From the center of the earth, this is Dictor Van Doomcock bidding you all, my friends, stay angry.
Ha 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 ha.